Hey everybody, I'm Beebs Kelley. Welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for being here with me. This month we've been featuring a lot of beautiful black dresses, and the LBD is one of the most famous staples in a lady's wardrobe. Pretty much every girl has one. It's like a rite of passage getting your first very own LBD. But where did the little black dress really begin? Well, it's none other than the iconic Coco Chanel. The October 1926 issue of Vogue featured a sketch of a black long-sleeved sheath dress made by Coco Chanel, and the magazine editors predicted the dress would become sort of a uniform for all women of taste. By this time, little black dresses were already commonly used for people in mourning and linked to those in the working class, so it's not like it was some super new innovative design. However, elevating it to something that was elegant or stylish was new. So once Coco Chanel made it a thing, magazines wanted it, showrooms were featuring it, and it became an upper class staple. Since then, the style has only grown in its popularity, and now they can be found anywhere, anytime, in any style. No matter if you're basic or fashionista, if you're a celebrity or normal, average, everyday lady, most everybody has at least one LBD in their closet for the time when you need it. The little black dress comes in so handy because now it's not only associated with mourning for most cultures and most people, and it's able to be worn in a wide variety of settings and still look classy or appropriate. But over time, there have been so many really iconic black dresses that have become famous in their own right. One such famous black dress is Princess Diana's revenge dress, of course. We already talked about it in a recent fashion edition, but in 1994, Princess Diana wore this velvet off-the-shoulder mini dress at the Serpentine Gallery in London, England. It made headlines for its daring silhouette and for its timing. I think if it hadn't been the night that the documentary aired, it may not have been so famous or become so famous. Because she wore it on that specific day, it became so much more iconic because of the clapback that it sort of symbolized. Whether or not she meant it as a clapback or something else, we had a big discussion of that in the comments. If you missed it, go back and check it out. I think no matter what, it still would have made some degree of fashion history because it broke the mold for a royal lady or an ex-royal lady to be wearing something quite that daring. That same year, another almost equally as iconic dress was worn by Elizabeth Hurley. It was a black Versace dress adorned with gold safety pins. She wore it to the premiere of 4 Weddings and a Funeral, which she attended with her then boyfriend Hugh Grant, who was in the film. She was an unknown actress at the time and described the dress as a favor from Versace because she couldn't afford one to wear herself. Someone from the Italian fashion house told her there was one item left in their press office that she could wear. It's now commonly referred to as that dress by fans and media outlets. And what was notable about Liz Hurley wearing it was that it wasn't actually her film premiere, but yet it stole headlines and became this famous and iconic moment anyway. Part of what made it so iconic was that it was held together with these gold safety pins, so it was a lot more revealing than a lot of the red carpet looks of that time. It's a cool design, but it definitely has that sort of grunge edge to it, which was also really popular at the time. That kind of had this great contrast between that sort of edgy grunge contrasted with the elevated label of Versace and the gold safety pins bringing that almost bling, but not quite, like a more subtle or classy bling to the situation. It merged the two styles really, really well. So it was not just a great dress for her and that moment that stole the limelight and became famous. Also, it was a really interesting design in and of itself as a dress. It was a cool dress. It was definitely something new and different and edgy, but not to the extreme of looking like it was trying too hard. If you were around when this dress came out in the tabloids, how did you react to it? Was it like considered garish at the time? Was it over the top? Tell me, I'd love to know what you guys thought of it when you saw it in real time. A truly famous black dress here is from Audrey Hepburn, and this dress was from Breakfast at Tiffany's. It actually ended up selling for $807,000 in 2006. This instantly recognizable look was also updated for the Givenchy Haute Couture Fall Show in 2018 after Givenchy's death. She wore this as the character Holly Golightly in this movie. I've never actually seen Breakfast at Tiffany's. It was glamorous, it was beautiful. This black dress is so simple. She wore it with a pearl necklace, a tiara, and elbow-length gloves. and it was actually designed by the founder of Givenchy. This picture is much more famous than the movie itself, in my opinion. I have seen the picture way more times than I've seen the movie, which is 0 times. I've never seen the movie, but it's a beautiful dress and it's a beautiful look. But I think that the setting, the scenario in which led her to wear this dress is what was even more fabulous about this dress. But it was definitely one of the first times that a basic but elegant and beautiful simple black dress was really made famous in a movie. Cher also had herself a really iconic black dress moment. In 1986, her Oscars outfit is one of her all-time favorites, sparkling in a black midriff-bearing outfit designed by Bob Mackie. Mackie was inspired by Showgirls when he designed Cher's ensemble and matching headdress. The designer told The New Yorker that Cher's look was meant to draw attention after she was snubbed at the awards ceremony. She was pissed off because she didn't get nominated for the film Mask. And there were a lot of people who said, "That's not fashion." And I said, of course it's not fashion. It's a crazy get-up for attention. And that's exactly what we were talking about a couple weeks ago. Sometimes celebrities, artists, actresses, singers, anybody in this line of entertainment industry work will wear something literally just for attention. It's what Lady Gaga has done. It's what Beyonce does sometimes. It's a costume, essentially. It's designed to get a reaction, to steal attention, to send a message in some way. It's not about the fashion itself. Costume designers for movies don't necessarily call themselves fashion designers, but they are still making fashion, using fashion, and influencing fashion, even though they're not necessarily setting out to create new fashions. They're thinking of it from a costume perspective because they are the costume designer for those films. Similar approach when a celebrity wears something loud and outrageous or really off the wall or just really different or out there or something that doesn't necessarily fit the occasion. They're doing it to steal attention. They're doing it to create a buzz and to get into the headlines some other way. And in this instance, it's because she was mad that she wasn't nominated. So she wanted to kind of give the middle finger to the Oscars a little bit and to steal some headlines and maybe kind of poke fun at it a little bit, that she's not going to take it too seriously if they're not going to take her seriously. Whether or not you agree with her approach there or whether you think she should or shouldn't have done it, it did what she set out to do. It became its own iconic look. Now obviously it looks like a costume to me. It looks like a showgirl piece to me. I only think that she was pushing the envelope when it came to exposure at the time, and now, that's sort of paved the way for what we've seen of so much exposure is totally fine now that it no longer has that shock value. It no longer will do the same thing that it did for Cher, wearing something, not just that it was a showgirl style piece, but that it was so exposed all throughout the midriff. That amount of skin showing was in and of itself impactful, but now we don't have that anymore. You can't just expose skin or wear something costumey to really stir up headlines anymore because we're so oversaturated with it now that these types of moments are less and less special when somebody does something like this. Whether or not you like the outfit itself, the moment in time became special because she wore this outfit in this way. And that's part of what people get off of Meghan Markle, is that she's wearing things that seem to be doing just this very thing, that she's trying to stand out for the wrong reasons or to send some sort of middle finger, this isn't as important to me, or something like that. She's sending these sorts of vibes through wearing outlandish or ridiculous clothing or clothing that doesn't suit the occasion. It reads as the same way that this did with Cher, that she was pissed off about this occasion, that she was trying to show either some sort of defiance or maybe a little bit of disrespect to the occasion itself, or just that she wasn't going to participate, right? If it wasn't going to be on her terms, she wasn't going to participate. And in this situation with Cher, I'm not sure that, it's no secret, she's a singer, she's a diva in some ways. So that sort of behavior isn't necessarily something that you would be like, oh, how inappropriate. But I'm sure some people found it to be a little rude, I would imagine, in terms of the Oscars wanting to be maintaining some level of respect as the most prestigious awards in film. The difference when it came to Meghan Markle is that sometimes she was attending events where there were veterans, meeting with charities who are serving underprivileged communities or trying to help people who are genuinely going through a difficult time, and attending events in inappropriate clothing and wearing something for this type of reason, or wearing something that's on this sort of a path of attention getting or kind of thumbing your nose at the situation. It's really the wrong setting for that. It comes off really, really bad. It comes off 100% rude and disrespectful when you do it in those types of settings. Versus Cher, I think that she probably got off a little bit easier, in part because it was still the entertainment industry and she was still well known as an entertainer. So she could kind of get away with it without it being like, wow, that was really disrespectful and not cool. But Meghan Markle can't get away with it in that way because it wasn't the entertainment industry, because she's not an entertainer, and because it really was disrespectful. I went on this tangent because I know there will be people in the comments saying, what's the difference between Cher doing this and Meghan doing it? There you have it. Rihanna also made her way onto a list of most famous or iconic little black dresses for this look, which I personally wouldn't necessarily call a dress, but nevertheless, let's see why this article put her on the list. This sheer Dior look re-examined the little black dress, as well as Rihanna's desire to redefine maternity fashion. This news article says that it's one of her best outfits of the year. She showed off her belly in a black lace bra and thong beneath a sheer lace skirt, creating the illusion of a dress. She finished the look with thigh-high boots, a leather coat, and stacked necklaces. Now, is this one of her best outfits of the year? In my opinion, absolutely not. This is not an outfit. This is a costume or something to be worn at home, because it's completely sheer. It's completely sheer. It's essentially wearing a bikini, a thong bikini at that, or just wearing your undies around, because this isn't even a bikini, this isn't a swimsuit, this is undies. It's not a dress, it's not an outfit. It's a costume to me. This reads as costume, not as an outfit. And that's fine. She is a singer. She is an entertainer. She's also a really, really successful businesswoman. Totally respect her. But I just don't see this. I wouldn't classify this as a dress or like an official outfit. I would classify this as a costume piece, also designed to get attention. I appreciate that she has a body positivity approach to her pregnancy. I think that's great to, be pushing the envelope for maternity wear to be more stylish, more fabulous, to be more suited for a person's particular taste. I think that all of those things are great. Anyway, I respect the fact that she did step outside the box when it came to maternity wear and helped people to feel more comfortable with wearing things that they like or whatever during pregnancy. I think all of that is great. And to also like normalize the way a pregnant body looks. Fabulous stuff. All good. But this is still not a dress. It's still just a sheer piece of fabric on top of your undies. I still refuse to call it a dress, and I still don't particularly like this look overall. Another dress that we've talked about before, we have Angelina Jolie in one of the most memorable Oscars red carpet moments ever, when the actress popped her leg out of her high slit dress, generating dozens of memes and chatter online in 2012. Her right leg soaked up much of the limelight, but her slinky Versace dress was also made famous by this. She later told Extra that she felt confident and at ease in the look. I had a more complicated dress and I wore the more comfortable dress, which was that one. And I think I was just so comfortable that I think when you feel comfortable, when you feel yourself, which is very much the theme of this movie that she was going to the premiere for, and we know this in life, you embrace it. And sometimes maybe it appears to be a thing. I don't know. I totally agree. I really like her take on fashion. She's not a fussy, fashionable lady. She doesn't go over the top with stuff, and I really like that. I feel like that's where you get the sort of timeless, classic fashion and beauty from someone, when they're not overdoing it or trying too hard. And this is a perfect example of that. She had something much more complicated and less comfortable to wear that night, and it was perfect. It created this iconic moment that would not have happened had she forced herself into the less comfortable item. And this is my theory on literally everything. If you're not comfortable in it, it's gonna show. It will be very obvious if you're not comfortable in your makeup or your hairstyle or your hat or your jewelry or your shoes or your outfit. Literally anything that you're wearing that you're not comfortable in, it's gonna show. There's two aspects to the comfortability of a look overall or an outfit. It's how comfortable does your body feel in it, your skin feel in it? Are there seams? Is it too tight? Is it scratchy? Is it bothering you? Is there a tag stabbing you? Like how does it feel on you? Do you wish you could rip it off because it's not comfortable? That's one side of it, your physical comfort, but also your style comfort. If it doesn't like suit your personality very well, or you just feel like something about it is off for you, it doesn't really feel like you, then again, it's another comfortability issue because you don't feel comfortable in it. Even though it feels fine on, you still feel out of place in it. And this can happen a lot when you try a new style. Like if you've never done wide leg trousers before and you're trying on wide leg trousers, you might be a little like, this feels just uncomfortable. Something just feels off about this to me. And maybe with time it'll feel more comfortable to you, but sometimes that doesn't work out and it's still something that like you know yourself the best, and if you really feel silly in them or you really just don't vibe with whatever outfit it is, whatever top or print it is, then just stay away from it. That's like a sign that you're never gonna look as good as you want to in it because it's not comfortable for you. We've all run into this before where we're trying something on and maybe it fits great and it'd be perfect for the occasion, but just something about it feels off. Then just don't get it. Don't bother, because you won't feel comfortable in it even if you think you do. I tried this one time like a year ago. I had this dress that I absolutely loved in theory, and it had these ruffles and it was off the shoulder and there were so many aspects of it that I thought were really fun and beautiful and I liked. So I tried, but it just felt off to me. Something about the texture of it wasn't really great. The fit of it wasn't perfect. The length of it was a bit awkward on me, and I just couldn't keep it because it just didn't work for me. It just wasn't particularly comfortable for me. So anytime you have something that's either physically not comfortable or you just don't feel quite right in it, then that will show. It will be totally obvious. Michelle Obama made it onto the most famous and iconic little black dress list. At the ESPYs, she wore this asymmetrical neckline bodycon silhouette. This was made by one of her favorite labels, Cushionette Ox. She has been seen in designers from all over the world and has become notable for her sophisticated taste in clothes that never feel stuffy or stiff, which she proved at this 2017 event. Now this dress is perfect for her. So much about this dress is like literally exactly what she needs for her body type. So she doesn't necessarily have any sort of out of balance proportion. Her shoulders are not necessarily broader than her hips, though at times her shoulders can appear a little bit broader than her hips, but really in reality, when you really look at her figure, they are not. She is quite balanced. It's all to do with what sort of weight the outfit has and whether the outfit or the dress or the item is fitting her in a way that throws her out of balance. So anybody who has pretty well proportioned shoulders to hips ratio, if you wear something that really kind of accentuates or adds weight to your shoulder area, then your shoulders are going to appear a little bit broader than your hips. Not dramatically so, but just somewhat. And so that just is something that will happen. Same with if you wear something that really accentuates your hips, it'll look like you have a more pear-shaped figure at that moment in that outfit. So if you have balanced proportions, that's why a lot of the times, for example, with hourglasses, it's more advisable to just wear stuff that's a little bit more slim fit and more simple and sleek, because you might throw yourself out of balance when you start adding some sort of volume or too much attention in one area. Then you will look out of balance. So here in this instance, I just think that this is very, very flattering. I absolutely love the asymmetry of this neckline situation. It is really cool. It is really beautiful. I like that it has the long sleeves paired up with it, so there's nothing in competition with these cool cutouts along the shoulder area here, along the neckline. It's just really neat, and I like that it comes and hits her below the knee here as well, because again, it's not competing with the cutouts of the dress at all. And then her shoes here kind of mirror or mimic the cutouts and the diagonal lines of the dress. So they were perfect shoes to wear for it as well. She really does do a good job of dressing herself. I think that she dresses her body type well and has a really nice sense of style where she still dresses appropriately for the occasion and wears things that are flattering to her body type and her silhouette, but still have some sense of style to them, some pop to it, because again, like they said, I agree, she doesn't look stuffy in her outfits, which isn't always easy to do when you're wearing more professional stuff. Like when Barack was in the White House and she was doing, you know, first lady duties all of the time, she was having meetings and needed to look really professional, successfully not feeling like she was wearing something that wasn't her taste. She didn't look like she was dressing what she thought she should wear. She looked like she was wearing what she wanted to wear, and she was owning her looks. So she was comfortable with what she wore and the choices that she made in her clothes. And I think she just took a really successful approach with it. And I mean, now that she's former first lady, now that they are no longer in the White House and whatnot, we've seen a few more things that are maybe a little bit more figure hugging, a little bit more evening, like these things, maybe, you know, occasionally having something a little bit more edgy or daring. These cutouts here, someone might be like, well, a first lady shouldn't wear it, but once you're out of the White House, you know, you can. So we've seen her explore a little bit more some of these types of looks, but in general, it's not dramatically different, the stuff that she wears now, than what she wore there. It's just slightly more professional, maybe slightly more reined in at times, but still felt very true to her. So she did a really great job there. In what some magazines called the diva version of a little black dress, Lady Gaga was seen wearing this black Christian Siriano dress with dramatic tulle sleeves outside Jimmy Kimmel Live, where she was promoting her movie House of Gucci. Look projected the right amount of retro attitude. Siriano also shared a photo of Gaga in the dress on his Instagram, writing the caption that the star was just divine in his design. I really like his designs. I feel like he does a great job of creating drama in his looks that doesn't look too costumey or too outrageous. We have seen Lady Gaga in some of the most ridiculous outfits of all time. I mean, who can forget the meat dress? Okay, we've seen her in some pretty crazy looks. But this allowed her to have some drama and some flair and something different and exciting in her outfit, but still not look like completely and utterly ridiculous. Now, you might not like these big tulle puff sleeves, and they aren't necessarily my favorite either. They're definitely an editorial look, meaning something that's meant to be photographed or in a magazine, something more slightly costumey, but still like fashion design in and of itself. So it is a little bit leaning that way, but it's not ridiculous. You know what I mean? It still has an element that's reined in that dress of the center portion of the dress is just very simple. It's not competing with the drama of those sleeves. So it still achieves great balance and still keeps it looking normal enough to wear for an occasion like this. As a designer, I think he does a really great job, and rarely am I like, what the heck was he thinking? So for example, he understands boobs. The guy in charge of Carolina Herrera right now does not understand boobs. We've established that, okay? He keeps putting inverted nipples on them. He keeps making them fall out of their dresses. He keeps making ladies look ginormous in dresses. So I don't understand what's happening there. But Christian Siriano does a great job. If you guys are interested, we can do a little profile of some of his best designs and see various celebrities wearing the same designer and see how they compare with one another, or how that designer can accommodate various real ladies' body types, not just one body type, which is the model body type, but rather how certain designers are more successful at dressing a wide variety of body types. Perhaps that would make an interesting video. You guys let me know if you're interested in one like that that's more focused on one designer at a time. I've always thought that would be interesting to do, but I'm just not sure if you guys would like it or not. So please leave it in the comments and let me know if that's something that you guys are interested in. There you have it, some of the most iconic and famous little black dresses in history. Let me know when you got your first little black dress in your wardrobe. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a very happy day ahead, and I will see you next time. Bye!